what an example of a real successful either a merchandising program, marketing program that has supported your store or your website, and how vendors have kind of, what their role is in terms of providing that material, collateral, marketing, content, all of those things. And I mentioned earlier that, sometimes, they offer everyone's website, the same stock photo and the same stock description, but that may not necessarily work for everyone. So I'm curious how intimate the vendor is with regard to providing each store more or less a customized marketing support and merchandising support strategy. Jody?
I don't really have like a huge success story with that right now, unfortunately. I haven't seen banners on their websites, a store locator really, and I know, with other things, I have seen that with some, but not a whole lot. I don't know, maybe, they're selling in big box stores, or, we brought that product in, and, it's not, the thing with our website right now, we did bring in another POS system in, and it's not coinciding with our website, okay. So it's kind of our biggest downfall right now. With that, and unfortunately, I know some companies do merchandising, incentives like have the best, display of this month or this quarter and, win X, Y, and Z. So, but with that, I just don't see a whole lot of, any, merchandising offering products or anything like that. So,
Paul, if you share that sentiment, what's your recommendation?
The only ones that I really use the company's merchandising on for the most part is our cutlery. Okay. And I have some nice cases and the companies give them to you. Although I got one from one company and the way that it came in just wasn't gonna. It didn't come with magnets. They wanted this little clip-in thing for the knife, and I was like, that's not gonna work. So I called up my buddies at the restaurant supply place because they can actually get the magnets cheaper than me. So I went and bought some magnets from them, put the magnets in, and that's how I have it in my case now. And the manufacturer they actually saw that I did that, and they were like, okay, whatever. But other than that, a lot of the merchandising, I do it differently because you go into a big box store and there's an entire wall of OXO. Then there's an entire wall of another brand, and then there's another wall of another brand. So you only see that one brand. And what we've chosen to do is, I have probably 7 spatulas. They're all next to each other. Different brands, but they're the ones that work. They're the ones we like. They're the ones that sell well, but they're all, I have all the spatulas in one place, no matter what the brand is. So we don't really do so much with brands, and I haven't had. There are some things, the stacking programs and things like that. Sometimes when we do have people that don't understand, it's nice that we have the cases next to each other, and I can say, okay, hold this one, hold this one. Oh, this one feels better. That's a knife for you. It doesn't matter which one I think is best. It's what the customer thinks is best. But yeah, we don't merchandise like the big stores for sure.
We'll get to everyone on this question for a second. And I want, in light of what Paul just said, I want you to think of the role of highlighting brand within your store. Obviously, some brands warrant that more than others, but and that's you may not want to have big signage and big brand signage necessarily.
So that one pan right now has 4 different recipes, and that's not 4 different desserts. That's an entree, an appetizer, and a dessert in that pan. And so that helps the customer. It helps the salespeople, and then you can personalize that if you'd like to on the way out the door as a recipe card. I think it's very difficult when we're all in very different markets and yes. What our look is for, I think it's very difficult for a vendor, but if they can support maybe something we've shot or something we're using with dollars, that is very helpful. So we have an ad twice a year that goes in a magazine.
Christmas thing, we've actually won lots of merchandise for our they have a contest on the East Coast and I guess on the West Coast. And so we won lots of merchandise.
We won too.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you.
That success story on a vendor advertising for us and it working was
Oh,
wonderful.
great.
I thought that was a great promotion that they did, and we were very pleased. We were
Very
happy
cool.
that it worked.
Peter?
I just have to echo Ruth has amazing
Yes,
photos.
yes.
I point out a gift vendor, although they also do household items, Umbra. That's, to me, a great example of a great back and forth with the company in response to my having asked. So this is all available to me, point of purchase, merchandising ideas, photos, and when there's a photo that I think I need that's not there, I contact them and let them know. More often than not, they'll go down to the studio and shoot it and make it available. Now, it'll be available to anyone who sells Umbra, but it'll come to me first. And it really helped us. 3 years ago, we were their Small Business Retailer of the Year for the U.S.
Oh, that's terrific.
And, I credit them for giving us the tools to get there.
We're going to wrap up soon because I want to leave some time for some questions from our guests and our sponsors. I'm going to ask we're going to go around the table one more time, and I'm going to ask everyone to kind of assess the general state of vendor store relations and what could be done specifically better to help that. Even if things are pretty good, how can that be improved? But one quick question, who around the table is heavily involved in social media? Just a couple of you? Okay. I don't want to turn this into a social media discussion, but are the vendors working with you to enhance your social media strategy? Are they aware when you're on a social media platform? Are they retweeting? Are you kind of sharing and all that right now?
Some of them get it, and some of them just don't. Like, some of them just don't understand. I guess it comes down to the company philosophy or who's in the companies and all that. Some of them just absolutely do not get it. For me, though, Shun does. Kitchen IQ, one of the sponsors today, they've reposted some of the things that I've put up with their products. So,
Anyone else have a story about how to really coordinate social media strategy? No? Need more help with it? From
You
your
need to
vendors?
talk to my 32-year-old store manager who handles that for me.
To be honest, Peter, that feels to me like those old days of asking for my photographs for the website.
Yeah.
On the other hand, what I point out is I'm now working with a third-party website that's very good for our kind of store that allows me to post something on Instagram and immediately make it available through that Instagram photo as something to buy in my store on their site. So, it's becoming more and more relevant for me.
Sure.
So to the extent vendors can help me coordinate campaigns, I'm entirely open to it. But I hear from nobody.
Let's go stay with you, Peter. Quickly around the table, the state of relations between vendors and retailers in your business right now.
It's still overall good. And I think in some part that's because of the strategy of moving away from the vendors from whom it was not good towards those with whom it's stronger. And that's just what we've chosen to do. I still look for, I understand it is a two-way street and that we need to reach out to our reps and our vendors for the things we need and not just expect they're going to instantly know what we need and come to us proactively. I'm just thrilled when they do. So I can only say that two-way communication benefits everyone. But I come back to, and I just can't say this enough, vendors, I am not your competitor. I don't want to be your competitor. I'm your extended sales force. I'm your friend. I'm your buddy. I am here to move that product and to create relationships within my community that you can't create. And as you're looking at your strategy moving forward, I know you need to do what's best for you and you need to move units, but we're still here. That's what our business is. And I am going to delight the people on the other end in my community with your product. Trust me to do that and don't make it harder for me.
Thank you. Sarah?
With the vendors being so distant from some of the retail stores, like you were saying, I think it's really important that the more that they can learn about the demographics of our customers, everyone's is different, and that same spatula may go in different households, and I think if they learn a little bit more about who our customers are, they can better align, with the product for the end user, and maybe listen to us through those reps and see what products are being used and how.
And so they have to really learn to trust their sales reps, really trust their sales reps. And then in terms of us getting help and support from the vendor took me a long time to learn, Ask.
The need to ask, but there's also the need for compromise. And I realize sometimes we can be very demanding as stores, but again, we, as it was said at the end of the table, we're an extension of their business. So if they just realize that even though my population density isn't as large as some other city, I still may have the power for them. And I think you need to know your market and the potential for your market